Oblivion and Fallout 3 remasters, Dishonored 3 among games in leaked Xbox scheduled docs. So this was a massive Xbox leak that just came out just yesterday. In the logline underneath that says a list of unannounced games, including sequels and remasters, has appeared out of the Microsoft versus FTC court documents. So unfortunately, that court case, I think that had something to do with the Activision buyout that Microsoft was doing, that caused this leak. And it seems legit because Phil Spencer responded to it, which I will get to after I read this. But I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this already. But let's go over this article from GameSpot. An old release schedule leaked in documents released for the FTC versus Microsoft trial mentions a number of unannounced games, including Dishonored 3, if that's true. Hell yes, I love Dishonored. A Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, which is odd to me. Doom Year Zero, I need to know more. And Fallout 3 and Oblivion remasters. As posted by Wario64, the leaked document shows an old ZeniMax release schedule that lists a number of major titles we already know about, such as Starfield, of course, and Elder Scrolls 6, alongside a handful that have never been announced. Now here's the tweet from Wario64. He just says Fallout 3 Remaster, Ghostwire sequel, Dishonored, Oblivion Remastered, Doom appear on a release schedule. So this was posted on a Reset Era thread, which you wouldn't catch me dead on Reset Era. It's possibly worse than Reddit. So this was the graphic that was leaked. Title release schedule. And some of these are not even correct anymore because I think COVID kind of screwed up a lot of their development plans because a lot of this did not come out when they said. A lot of delays. So fiscal year 20, I don't know what E means. Doom Eternal and DLC, yes, that both happened that year. I think Greymore came out that year. Wastelanders, I believe, actually that might have been delayed until the year after. And I think Wastelanders and Deathloop were actually this year. And then Fallout Shelter Alon has not been announced yet. Project Whirlwind, who knows what that is. A lot of code names in here. Actually, I'm going to speculate when I'm done reading this what I think these are. Starfield, holy crap, was supposed to come out fiscal year 21 and it's now out here. Obviously, everything got screwed up with the shutdowns. ESO expansion, I mean, those come out every year like clockwork. Redfall was delayed and came out this year. Doom Eternal DLC, I think, came out this year. Ghostwire Tokyo, that made it. Don't know what Fallout Worlds is. I don't think that's out yet. And then we have Project Hibiki, Project Ubu, and Project Wanderer. I don't know. This kind of stings. Fiscal year 22, Indiana Jones game was supposed to come out. That sucks. It was supposed to be out by now. Oblivion remaster. So I've been speculating for years about, I think an Oblivion remaster will happen, or Morrowind, or both, and then probably Fallout 3 and or New Vegas. I think they could all happen in time. I don't think they will be made in-house at Bethesda. I think somebody else will do it. Somebody similar to Bluepoint. But I think Bluepoint's owned by PlayStation, so they wouldn't do it. Another ESO expansion. 3 planned titles. There was supposed to be Starfield DLC by last year. And it just came out this month. That's funny. Fiscal year 23. Doom Year Zero and DLC. What is this? And let me finish reading and then I'll speculate. Project Kestrel. Project Platinum. ESO. 1 planned title. FY24. Elder Scrolls. There's no way in hell that's happening. There's no way in hell that's going to be out by next year because I think Starfield was delayed by probably at least 3 years because of the shutdowns. Apparently they had the delay, or the development had to go much slower when that happened. Project Kestrel, so an expansion for whatever that is. Licensed IP game. Interesting. Fallout 3 remaster, that's big. ESO, Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, Dishonored 3, Doom Year Zero DLC, 1 planned title. So, and then it says, the unannounced games include a 3rd game in the Dishonored series, despite recent reports that Deathloop was developed due to Bethesda turning down Dishonored 3. They would not, why would they turn down Dishonored 3? I think everybody loves that more. Like, Deathloop was really disappointing. I played it recently, and it's, I don't really like it. I didn't finish it. Ghostwire sequel has appeared on the schedule, which is baffling considering I don't think it did very well. Kind of bombed. Appears to have been greenlit while the first game was in development. A new Doom titled Doom Year Zero, along with lots of DLC. Two of Bethesda's most loved older RPGs, Fallout 3 and Oblivion, are also on the list. Both original titles over 15 years old now. So yeah, they're ripe for remasters. Even though I think they said they wouldn't do it. Notably, the release schedule appears to be from before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, with games still aiming for their pre-pandemic release dates, such as Starfield slated for 2021, and Elder Scrolls 6 still expected in 2024. Yeah, sure. Most of the unannounced games are on the schedule for financial year 2024, which means we likely won't see any of the... Yeah, that sucks. COVID ruined everything. Until 2026 or later. It is possible the titles have been quietly canceled. I hope not, or shelved, since the schedule was current, but we're holding out hope that the title still exists behind the scenes somewhere. The news comes as leaked documents also revealed plans for a mid-generation... Yeah, there's like a weird round-looking Series X, even though Phil denied any possibility of a new console. It's crazy to think that we're already in that position. Like, I remember the first 3 years of Xbox One, they felt so much longer, and like now, like the first 3 years of Series X just... And then that's just... I think everyone's internal clock was screwed up by the shutdowns. So yeah, let's speculate about... So, okay, that's done. That's done. That's done. I think all of this is out, except for Project Whirlwind. I don't even have the first clue. It's mobile, so there's no really any point in speculating because nobody cares about mobile. Fallout Worlds. That is probably... Because remember they teased The Pit? I think that's out now. I'm not sure, actually. I bet that is like areas from several different Fallout games, like 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, like dropped into 76 maybe. Hibiki, Ubu, and Wanderer. Let me get to those in a minute. Indiana Jones game. God, I want to know more about that. I'm hoping that's next year. Oblivion Remaster, I could see that still happening. ESO, that's going to happen. Starfield DLC will definitely happen. Another two projects, code names. Licensed IP game could be similar to the Indiana Jones game. Maybe like a standalone sequel or standalone DLC like they did with like Dishonored, Death of the Outsider to that. That's what I'm thinking. Ghostwire Tokyo, I say that the first one bombed, I think. But Microsoft, it doesn't really matter now if these games bomb per se because they have the safety net of Game Pass. So they're just making games for Game Pass, really. And I don't think they'll cancel a lot of these because I know that Bethesda, like Xbox, has invested huge in, or has invested big time in Bethesda. And I think this was this pre the buyout? I don't remember what year the buyout was. Like, I don't know if Microsoft canned some of these. So let's talk about... So Dishonored 3. It's been a long time since that series ended with Death of the Outsider. I've been wanting it for a long time. Dishonored 2 is one of my favorite games. If they do this, please, Bethesda, for the love of God, update Dishonored 2. I want to play it in 60 FPS on console. It's stuck at 30, and it needs an FPS boost. I hate that I can't play it in 60. So hopefully that happens, and then I will replay 2 before that happens if they update that game. I was actually going to recently replay the first one. So these code names, I don't think the names... I think Project Wanderer... Isn't the Wanderer the name of the guy in Fallout New Vegas? I think it is. I'm not positive, though. This could be New Vegas, too. But, I mean, we already have... I don't think that would come from Bethesda, though. That would come from Obsidian. Yeah, that would be an Obsidian joint. Maybe... what could that be? Honestly, this is a lot of code names. There's like 5 here. Platinum, Kestrel, Hibiki, Ubu, Wanderer. The only one I can think of is like Wolfenstein 3 is probably one of those, which I thought would have been done by now. I have the feeling they were making that, and then they got the Indiana Jones IP, and then they temporarily shelved Wolfenstein 3, and then they're coming back to it. So one of these, I think, is... See how it says Kestrel and then Project Kestrel Expansion? I think one of those is Wolfenstein 3. Obviously, these years are not going to be correct. And then Expansion is going to be kind of like... Remember the Old Blood? Was like a standalone DLC you could buy on the disc to Wolfenstein The New Order. I think that's a similar type thing. As for, like, yeah, Whirlwind, all these other ones, honestly, who freaking knows? Like, it's not going to be... One of these could be Fallout 5, but I doubt it, because it's not going to be until much later after ES6. So, the fact that there's that many code names is fascinating. The one that intrigues me the most, obviously, is Doom Year Zero. Like, coming so soon after... Well, not really. Only a couple years after Doom Eternal. And what is year... Oh, whoops. I was trying to highlight Year Zero. That, you know what that probably means? I have the feeling it's either a prequel to Doom 1 and it's about the origin of the Doomslayer. But I think more likely is it's probably a game that... It's more like a traditional FPS game in the vein of the original Doom 4. Like, if you've ever seen that original footage for Doom 4, it looked like a Call of Duty clone, to be honest. And I know that might freak people out, be like, oh no, we don't need that. But I don't think we're going to get another game this soon that is in the style of, like, Doom Eternal's gameplay. I think it'll be different gameplay, but still a Doom... Like, it's them expanding the Doom universe. They want to move on from just an arena shooter, which is fine by me. Bring it, like... You can make, like, a survival horror Doom game. You can make so many different offshoot games if you want. Now, there was recent... I think it was... Well, no, that wasn't recent, but there was concept art for vehicles in Doom Eternal, and I swear to God, I remember a tweet from the Doom account years ago, after Doom Eternal came out. When they were first discussing Eternal's DLC, they mentioned... And I looked for this tweet. I can't find it anymore. But obviously, Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2 were the DLCs. But they originally said... Like, when they were talking about DLC, they mentioned something about playing from the perspective of humans or Marines on Earth during the Hell Invasion. And I think it was planned to be Eternal DLC, but they said, no, we're actually going to make this a separate game. They changed their mind and they're making it a whole different game. I think that's what it is. And I don't think it's id, the main team at id, making it. So another one of these code names, I think, is also id's next big arena shooter. And I think it's either a Quake reboot or like a Hexen Heretic type game, which I've already talked about in another video, which you can find. But I think Doom Year Zero is being made by maybe a secondary team at id, maybe even Avalanche, because I know id and Avalanche work together on Rage 2. So I could see Avalanche and id making some kind of maybe open world. Like, I don't need an open world, but some kind of different style of shooter that feels more like Call of Duty, maybe almost Borderlands-y, but having the Doom enemy, so it's not just you're the one-man army. Because you're kind of limited if all the Doom games are just you're the Doomslayer, you're the one-man army. So I think Doom Year Zero takes place before Doom Eternal, and it's set on Earth, and it's like normal humans or Marines, and it's about the invasion of Earth, and you have to fight off... Like, it's before the Doomslayer comes to rescue everyone. So that's what I think that game is. And I hope that's real. We'll see. Maybe at Game Awards or next year get some kind of announcement for that. So, yeah, that's what I think what that is. But, I mean, here's what... This is why it seems legit. It's Phil's response. Here it is from The Verge. He just emailed Microsoft employees about the leak today. In the internal memo obtained by The Verge... he says Microsoft Xbox plans were intentionally disclosed, or unintentionally disclosed, of course. It revealed a lot. A diskless Series X redesign, a 2028 Xbox that could deliver a cloud hybrid game, which sounds, I don't care. A new Xbox controller, unannounced Bethesda games, and even discussions about acquiring Nintendo, which would never happen in a million years. They would not agree to that sale, but could you imagine? Like, I know he said something about that would be like a career moment for him if he bought Nintendo. Like, could you imagine Xbox and Nintendo working together? Whew, that'd be crazy. Spencer hints that Microsoft's plans may have changed, particularly as some documents were from last year, but others were from years prior. I know this is, quote, I know this is disappointing, even if many of the documents are well over a year old and our plans have evolved, says Spencer. In a similar brief or statement shared on X, Spencer says, we've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. It is hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there's so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share the real plans when we are ready. So I think a lot of those unannounced projects with the codenames are probably canned and we'll never know about them. That happens all the time in big companies like this. Things are announced, they never see the light of day. Spencer reiterates this real plans message in his internal memo to Xbox employees. We all put incredible amounts of passion and energy into our work, and this is never how we want that hard work to be shared. That said, there's so much more to be excited about. Oh, that's what I already read that. Duh. This was his memo to his team. Team, today several documents submitted in the court proceedings related to a proposed acquisition of Activision were unintentionally disclosed. I know this is disappointing, even if many of the blah, 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 blah. I know all y'all take a confidentiality of our plans and our partners' info very seriously. This leak is... This reminds me of the Rockstar leak. They had to come out and say something because it was... They wouldn't if it wasn't real. So they had to say something because it's real. This leak obviously is not us living up to that expectation. We will learn from what happened and be better going forward. We all put in... This is pretty standard stuff from a CEO or whatever he is, the head of Xbox. We will learn from what happened and be better going forward. We put incredible amounts of passion. Buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. There's so much more to be... it said, in closing, I appreciate all the work you pour into Team Xbox. Basically the standard thing you would say about if there was a leak. So yeah, that's about it for this thing. Not much else to say. What do you guys think of this leak? How much of this do you think is actually real and happening? And do you agree with my speculation about what Doom, the new Doom could be? Which is shocking to me that there's even a new Doom possibly soon. And I'm all for it. I love Doom. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Go read this if you'd like, and there's definitely other sites talking about it. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time in whatever else I do. Peace out.